Yo, yo, we are live right now on this Saturday night, and we're just gonna kick the ish. Whoever comes into the room, if y'all want to come on, I'll drop the link. Y'all can come on, y'all can tune in, and we can rap, we can cook. But first and foremost, for those who may come in, welcome. I appreciate you guys joining me. And the ones who catch the pre-recording, thank you for stopping by and listening to the pre-recording as well. But anyhow, let's get to it. Let's kick it. Let's talk some boxing. I mean, I can see why people are going to MMA and watching more MMA due to the simple fact that boxing right now is an absolute circus. I mean, I just really don't get it. At the same time, it's like, okay, I do the sport, I love the sport, so I'm gonna still support the sport. But it's just like, wow, man. I know back in the day it was easier to make fights than it is right now. That's all I can say. So anyhow, um, I knew this was gonna happen. Like I already knew it was gonna happen. You didn't have to tell me that this was gonna happen. I knew Canelo wasn't going to fight in September. I mean, I already knew. I was just like, okay, nah, this dude ain't fighting in September. I already know it's like too close to call. And the thing is, though, is that Bivol was willing to fight in September. But as much as I like Dimitri Bivol, I really would not want Dimitri Bivol to fight at a disadvantage. Okay. And I'm just being real that the catch weight would have been a disadvantage for Dimitri Bivol. So it was better for him not to actually fight, in my opinion. I think that was actually a good move for him not to fight. But anyhow, when you look at the landscape now is coming out that they're now going to go back into negotiations with Caleb Plant for that undisputed fight, and more or less so they say it will fall in November. Now, I mean, there was word, I don't know how true it is, but they said that one of the reasons why negotiations fell through is for the simple fact that Caleb Plant, he did, or Canelo, he didn't want to sign a two fight deal. Okay. And that fight would include the Caleb Plant fight. That's the thing. So with him, the issue really was the fact that he didn't want to sign two years because he's a free agent, so to say. But my thing is that um two fights is not a lot of fights, bro. Like he could have signed a two fight deal and been okay. But I think the problem is the two fights would have had to been besides this fight with the Caleb Plant, the second fight would have had to been against a top dog. It would have had to he would have had to fight someone who's like gonna give him like some work. He wasn't gonna like be able to fight like a slouch. And so I think that's why he didn't do the um the the two fight deal. I believe that was the reason why he didn't do it. But now, as it stands, the fight is off in September. I already knew. Uh, a lot of people know that he likes to fight on Mexican Independence Day. That's when he enjoys to fight the most. But it looks like whenever he decides to fight, it's going to be after the Mexican Independence Day. Um, and chances are, I think that's going to be the fight that is going to happen. I believe that somehow, some way, they're going to reach an agreement. And then after that agreement is reached, the fight will take place in Sep or in November. And I think that way they'll have bigger promotion and everything like that. Because let's be honest, if they had a fight in September, I don't think they would have had enough time to promote it as they should. You know, to be honest, like with you, to be completely honest, even they really didn't promote that Adri Yildirim fight that much either. Like there was really no promotion on that fight, and so I think the PBC, they want to take it upon themselves to like do those episodes of the fighters, see what the fighters are doing in training camp and everything like that. Kind of similar to what they're doing with the Earl Spence Manny Pacquiao fight. Speaking of which, they try to block that fight for some reason. I don't know why they try to block that fight from happening. Um, it makes no sense to me. Like, why would you block that fight? And that's one of the biggest fights that we have coming up. It makes no sense. So, they didn't succeed at blocking it. The court overturned it, and we're still going to get that fight. Thank God. You know, if it's anything, that's the one fight that the potential fight of the year that we may get is Earl Spence versus Manny Pacquiao. So I don't know why they would try to block that fight when that's pretty much all we got when it comes to fights that we have coming up this year. Um, I hate to say it, but I've met Rolly before, and he's pretty chill. He's pretty cool. But he's capping now too. He said he wants Devin Haney fight and what have you. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. If he really wants to fight. But word just got back to me that he said, yeah, Devin Haney's not that important. We can look over the fight. But he was actually insulting Devin Haney, telling him to fight him and everything. And Devin Haney actually reached out. He actually, Devin Haney's dad and him reached out and said, okay, easy call. We're going to try to make this fight happen. And word is that Floyd gave the okay to make the fight happen too. But now word is getting back to me that Rolly said that, nah, he's not that important. That fight's not important to me. And the same thing is happening, unfortunately, with Jojo Diaz. Like, he's getting cold feet and he's not even taking initiative to fight Devin Haney either. So, as you see, there's three guys in boxing. There's three individuals in boxing that basically are boogeymen and nobody wants to see. And that's Devin Haney, Jerron Boots Ennis, and Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. You know, I've never seen in my time being involved in boxing, I really have never seen mandatories actually give up their mandatory spots to to avoid fighting, to avoid fighting for a championship. So it's like, um, yo, isn't that why you fight? Is to be a champion? Because once you become a champion, you get more money. I'll give you an example. I will give you a perfect example. You know, when Andrew Ruiz pulled the upset against Anthony Joshua, right? His whole trajectory changed. He was no longer just like a regular contender or anything like that. His whole thing changed. I mean, his whole life took a 360 turnaround. That dude had Rolls Royce race. That dude had all types of money coming in, things like that. He had, listen, man, that was large. And it all happened because he got a belt. He got multiple belts. He beat the champion. And the crazy thing is, he wasn't even a mandatory for the champion. He was a replacement for the champion. So, with that being said, um, there is no reason why mandatories should be ducking their championship opportunity, because if you beat the champion, you're going to get life-changing money. You're going to be able to put your family up. You're going to be able to take care of your family even better if you decide, if you're victorious and you decide to, you know, step up. But unfortunately, in this crazy world of boxing, we got people who are deciding not to fight their mandatories, right? Or deciding not to fight their for a championship. So it remains to be seen what will happen. You know, at the end of the day, all I'm going to say is that uh, Devin Haney, in my personal opinion, is the best lightweight in out of that bunch. He is the most skilled lightweight out of the bunch. Um, there are actually some unknown lightweights that I guess because they don't have like, maybe it's because they don't have a machine behind them that much. Um, who may be very good as well. Um, so you have this guy named from Dominican Republic named Michel Rivera. I don't know if he's the goods or not. It remains to be seen. But he's a big lightweight, and the thing is that I guess it's a situation where I don't know if he's ranked or not. So that's why you don't really hear anything about him. Now, with that being said, though, it just remains to be seen what kind of fights that or who Devin Haney can possibly fight, bro. But until then, he's the best lightweight by far. And now this is what I'm going to say. Maybe it's a little bit too premature, but if Shakur Stevenson were to move up to lightweight, then it would be a tie between him and Devin Haney as the best lightweights if Shakur moves up. But I think pretty much a fight with Jamal Herring is signed, sealed, and delivered. So Shakur will be fighting Jamal Herring. That'll be a good fight. But I think Shakur is going to watch that dude. After that fight, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be happening. But I don't think Oscar Valdez will unify with him. And so all the belts can be on the line. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens. But anyhow, let's move on to some Olympic stuff. A lot of happenings in the Olympics. The first thing that surprised me with the Olympics is that Hansel Parchment from Jamaica, he actually won the 110 hurdles. And I was very surprised at that. I for sure thought that Grant Holloway was gonna win the hurdles. I thought Grant Holloway was gonna win the high hurdles with the men. But instead, Hansel Parchment from Jamaica won the hurdles with the men. And the thing is, Grant Holloway, he runs hurdles in like 12.8. So he runs them pretty fast. Whereas Hansel Parchment, he runs them in like 13. But I think Hansel Parchment, he's run like a 12.9 or something in the high hurdles before, but not like recently. So that surprised me that Hansel Parchment actually won the high hurdles. And then you had Grant Holloway, he came in second place. And then you had another Jamaican come in third place, Ronald Levi, or I should say Ronald Levy. I think that's his name. But that was a very big surprise. Another surprise is that there was really no United States really present in the relays. The men's baton handoffs messed everything up. So it was really surprising to see that Italy won a damn gold medal in the relays, in the men's relays. I was like, what the hell? Italy? I mean, granted, Italy, they had two black dudes on it, on their relay team, but I was just like, yo, like what the hell? Like, since when has Italy became known as a sprint powerhouse? I was utterly surprised, bro. Because I mean, the major players were not even in it. Jamaica and United States. So that was a big surprise to me. I think it. I think Italy got a gold medal. And I think Canada, they got silver, if I'm not mistaken. I got to double check though. But then on the women's side, you have Jamaica. They did their thing. Shout outs to them. They won their 4x1 100 meters relay. So that was good. They handled business. They cleaned house. Did what they needed to do. I guess another surprise was in the men's 400 meters. You had, because everybody was like quoting this guy to be the next big thing in the 100 meters, in the 400 meters, and he wasn't even in the race. I mean, Michael Norman wasn't in the race. So you had the dude from Bahamas, Steve Gardner. I think he ran like 43, like maybe 43.4 or something like that. And then you had I forgot who got silver, but then you had Kirani James from Grenada. He still managed to get bronze. And granted, he's doing his thing. He's quiet, but he's doing his thing, because Kirani James, he was a gold medalist in the 212 Olympics. Then he was a silver medalist in 216 Olympics. Now he's a bronze medalist in 200 or 2020 Olympics. You know what I mean? So this is good. He's still doing his thing, holding his square. And then on the women's side of things, shout outs to Allison Felix. She managed to get a bronze in the 400 meters. And with her, she was going against the girl from Bahamas, Shawnee Miller. And Shawnee Miller, if you remember, in 2016 Olympics, she took a dive, literally, to the finish line. She took a dive to get first place. But that wasn't the case anymore. She had a big gap. The gap was big. Okay. And so, with that being said, congratulations to her. But I do want to say that there is that Dominican sister, and I think from years to come, she's going to be a problem. She got silver. I think her name was like Mary Letty Paulino. She got a silver. She's going to be a problem, man. She I think if she decided to train in the United States, yo, she would get all them girls that work, man. Because she looking like she gotta be like something serious. I'm just saying. So she's to look out for. You know, that's gonna be good. That rivalry, Shanae Miller and her in the future when it comes down to it. In triple jump, I'm not really surprised who won gold in triple jump because I already knew this nigga could bounce from when he was competing for Cuba. Um, Pedro Picardo, he won gold, but the thing is, he compete for Portugal now. But I already knew that from his previous jumping. I'm like, yeah, that nigga's gonna win gold for sure. You know, I think he jumped like 1798 or something like that. But yeah, I already knew he was gonna win, bro. It was a done deal. So shout outs to him and his victory. You know, he just did it for Portugal. Thing is that these European teams realize that when it comes to the power events or the explosive events or the speed events, they realize that they're gonna have to. They realize that the only way for them to medal in those, in their country to medal in those, is that they have to get immigrants to compete in those events. And most of the time, the immigrants, of course, are going to be of African or Caribbean background, right? So they took heed and they just did that. Because when have you known Portugal to get a damn medal in some triple jump, right? Like that's something that really doesn't happen. So yeah, man. Shout outs to him. There's this one chick in Netherlands. She's doing something crazy that I didn't think was possible, but she's trying to get 3 medals. She got I think she got a gold in, I believe it was I don't know what race it was, but it was one of those long races. She got gold in one of them, and then she got bronze in another race, and now she's trying to medal in a third race. You know, this is strong. You have to be very strong to do that. She competes for the Netherlands, and I think her name is like Sifat Hassan. She compete like she's East African, but she competes for the Netherlands. So she's trying for 3 individual medals. That's not easy to do. The task is really ahead of her to do it. So that'll be a special accomplishment. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So yeah, um, this Olympics have been surprising to me, to say the least. There's been a couple of surprises actually in this Olympics, and so we just have to wait and see the closing of these Olympics and see what happens. But yeah, Team USA really didn't show up for the sprints. I was really surprised at that. Because usually Team USA is a sprint powerhouse. You know what I mean? But they didn't show up. So it is what it is. I'm surprised how Italy became a sprint powerhouse. It's like, what the hell? How is Italy a sprint powerhouse? It's like the craziest thing ever. But yeah, so we'll just have to see what happens in the remaining events. They got the 4x4 That's gonna be probably tomorrow. And then they got yeah, I think that's it for athletics. It's just a 4x4. Um and I think maybe they have the javelin throw. I don't know. Um so yeah, and that'll pretty because I think the Olympics are over this weekend. The Olympics are almost done. So yeah, it was a good Olympics overall. A lot of surprises, but still good nonetheless. Trying to think if I missed anything with the events. I think I pretty much covered every recent event that took place so far. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I don't think I missed anything. But now let's talk about some social happenings. This was brought to my attention, unfortunately, but I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised, but there's Joseph Brown. What's up, man? Let me send you the link so we can talk some boxing and stuff like that. We can talk some boxing. I need your opinion on some stuff. You know what I mean? But real quick, I want to say that there has been news broken that which one call it that this would be activist by the name of Sean King actually. Here's the thing about this Sean King character. Here's the whole thing. I get it if you're like I get it if you're an ally or you're just someone of a different ethnic background and you want to support something because I mean it's happened before. It's happened in my family. For example, some of my family, some of my uncles, when we were fighting for independence against the Portuguese, some of them studied in Yugoslavia. Some of them went to Czechoslovakia. That's the thing. So, like some of them, like, I was surprised when they busted out with some Eastern European languages, speaking that crap. I'm like, yo, where'd you learn that crap? And they told me, yeah, when during the struggle, we went to the Soviet bloc to study. Some of them study to be engineers, some of them study to be mechanics and stuff like that. That's when the the socialist Russian Revolution happened. Believe it or not, um, a lot of those countries messed with Africans heavy, but they were allies. So I get it. I get when other nationality or other ethnic backgrounds want to show support. I get it. But when you look at Sean King, this dude took it a whole step further, and it wasn't even support that he was showing. Um, Sean King, you know, no disrespect to him, but he doesn't have a lick of black in him. He has no black. Like he's not black at all. But he was posing as a black and talking about injustices with black people and stuff like that, talking about the plight of black people, what black people were going through and stuff like that, and just everything. He was pushing that card. That's what he was doing. And unfortunately, some people bought into the Kool-Aid. Actually, a lot of people bought into the Kool-Aid, and many people believed he was black. Unfortunately, they were fooled, and they thought Sean King was black, but he's not black. Um, and then what happened is people went for the okie doke. People started giving this nigga money, giving him money, giving him money, giving him money. He was talking about like his wife. donating to the wife, who is a black woman, by the way. Um, that's another story in itself. I'm telling you, Lord have mercy, man. These all I gotta say is it's sad, bro. But a lot of these black women out here, they are swirling. And so I'm talking about the bomb looking ones, but it doesn't even matter because like, me, my mind state is completely different. So it doesn't even matter. They can swear all they want. But I'm just saying it's obvious out here. But anyhow, he's married to a black woman. So what happened is he said, "Oh, donate to my wife so she can take the burden off of the burden off of like uh school and stuff like that." So he was trying to do that. He also tried to clout chase the all types of tragedies. Every time a tragedy would happen, he would be there to like gaslight it and say this is outrageous and things like that. But also at the same time, he also asked people, "Hey, can you donate? Can you donate? If you donate this, this is going to be for the family or for the victims of this tragedy." Like he was pushing that card. Okay, he was doing that very heavily. But the problem is that he actually wasn't sincere. You know, um, he's not light skinned. He's white. It's not even about light skin. He's white. He's not black. He's not light skinned and black. He's white. It's not even about light skin. But anyhow, he asked people like, hey, can you donate to this because the money is going to go to Tamir Rice's family. That's what kind of card he was pushing. Yeah, he white. But that's the thing. He was pushing that card like, "Oh, can you donate to this? Can you donate to that?" Things like that. He was actually pushing to it. But the problem is that with the donations never saw the people that he said he was helping. So what happened was, for example, he raised $60,000 for the family of Tamir Rice, but the family claims that they never got that $60,000. They claim that they never saw the money. So then, fast forward, he moves into a house which is nearly $1 million. He moves into a $875,000 house, right? I don't know how word was spread that he moves into the house, but word got around quick. They were like, "Yo, man, this guy moved into this house, you know, 875,000, this, that, and the other." And then people started to call him out on fraud. They're like, "Man, you a fraud. You sound it hey man, all I gotta say is it's very Black Lives Matters. Like as a matter of fact, I think he collabed with them. You know what I mean? I think he even collabed with them, bro. So you are not far off whatsoever. But anyhow, yeah. So he bought the house, 875,000. He tries to use every excuse in the book that, oh, activists are entitled to have nice things, activists uh this, that, and the other. And so yeah, so he bought that house. Now, and it's crazy. This is absolutely crazy to me. He already left the house when they called him out on scamming. Because I think his wife also was a part of the gig too. That's the thing. I think his wife was also part of the gig. So with that being said, I say this to say this. People, I'm gonna read something. Let me find it because I'm a reader. And I'm not saying that like boastfully, but I'm gonna find something because the thing is that the my circle of influence is the people in the past, not these would-be activists, not these fake woke people. Those aren't my circle of influence. My circle of influence is like the Sheikh Anta Jobs, the Fanons, France Fanon, uh, you know, Amilcar Cabral, of course, because my dad fought under Amilcar Cabral. So of course he's gonna be an influence. Um, the Thomas Sankaras, the Malcolm X, the Steve Bikos, guys like that, guys who really kind of did the work and they weren't like just saying like they their lives reflected it, you know. And so let me read something that is so like profound. I've been reading this book and it's just kind of been going over everything, you know. Um a heavy book. But let me see. Let me find it. Let me find the quote. Let me find the quote real quick as I look through this book. All right, let me see. Cause this quote is so point. It's like straight point. It's like point on with when it comes to like black people and what black people aspire to. You know, that's the thing. And I guess you can say for the most part for people in general. You know, just in general. I'm gonna find the quote real quick. Let me see. Let me see. Well, let me just read what Amilcar Cabral wrote right here that a lot of these leaders don't do today, unfortunately. A lot of these would be woke people don't do today. Like the Shaka Bars, the Brother Polites, and these people. They don't even do this today. But Amilcar Cabral did it. But Amilcar Cabral said, and these are his words. Amilcar Cabral said, "Hide nothing from the masses of our people and tell no lies. Expose lies wherever they are told." And people get mad at me for exposing lies of these fake woke niggas. But I'm just doing something that one of my teachers told me to do. He also said, "Mask no difficulties, no mistakes, failures. Claim no easy victory." See, that's those are the traits of a real leader right there. If you can admit that you made mistakes, if you can admit that, hey, maybe I miscalculated this and I take full responsibility for this, then that's what makes you a leader. This is what makes you a leader. Okay? If you can admit these things, if you can admit, okay, I made mistakes, I miscalculated things, and take responsibility. Because the problem is what these people do today, unfortunately, and this is the main thing, is because these people use these big words, because these people have these like twisted concepts, that in these that sound good, the average person just goes off of that, unfortunately. The average person, because you said people, they profit off of people's pain. And that's true because people are looking for an answer, and so some people just give everything, the little that they have, for that answer, because the person in front of them is sounding all good, and sounding and romanticizing things. That's what a lot of these leaders do today. They romanticize things. Whereas the leaders that I followed, they were realists. You know, they looked at the real deal circumstances. They were realists. And so I rather have a realist than someone who romanticizes something. You know, I like me, even being African, I don't romanticize Africa. I mean, I'm going to be honest, excuse my French for what I'm about to say, but Africa is fucked up. But I understand that it's going to be up to the people in order to change how Africa is. But and I understand that people with the right education and the right mindset have a potential to change Africa the way it is. But if you were to ask me, I would be like, yeah, it's effed up, straight up, straight point blank period. But let me see, let me find what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something. You know, let me see. It's hard to find this quote, man, because I have to look backwards in the book. You know, that's the thing. Sometimes you be reading so fast that you be reading so fast that you miss things, Sometimes. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, Milcar Cabral, man, this nigga was a genius for real. As a matter of fact, I'm actually getting a medallion made out of pure silver with Amilcar Cabral's face. That's how much I respect that nigga. I'm about to put that on, you know, wear it out sometimes. Not wear it out all the time, but wear it out sometimes. You know, respect the shit out of Amilcar Cabral. He did it like nobody that I ever knew, really. Unfortunately they killed him like they do all of them. You have to ask yourself this question: why aren't, like, I don't wish death upon anybody. Don't think this is what I'm saying. But you have to understand, you have to ask yourself, okay, why are the likes of like Patrice Lumumba, Malcolm X, Maurice Bishop, um, Samora Machel, who else? Sankara, Amilcar Cabral, Steve Biko, why are they dead? Right? But their ideas are still, like, very much still alive. But you look at the young pharaohs, the Shaka Bars, the Brother Polites, the Nature Boys. They're here physically on on the earth, right? But their ideas are dead. What I mean, their ideas have brought nothing to fruition. You know, so it's like they're alive, but their ideas are dead, and the reason why they're alive is because um, they're causing confusion, and furthermore, just more bad than good, and that's what the order of the day wants to see. So that's why I guarantee you, if something good was happening with these people, then there would be a red flag and there would be an alert, about like what's going on and stuff like that. But I'm trying to find this quote because it pretty much sums everything up that like black people want. Well, the sad thing is, Joseph, is that many times, unfortunately, hate to say it, but many times, I guess you can say that one gets blinded by jealousy and one gets blinded by desire, and then he'll just collaborate with the European to like take out the good. Because I'm gonna tell you something, bro. People say that the death of Amilcar Cabral was just orchestrated by the police, secret police, but I believe the CIA has something to do with it as well. I believe that the CIA did something, you know, because they saw what was going on. They saw that that dude was doing what he needed to do. You know, he did like darn near the impossible. You know, trying to find what he said though about people fighting for ideas and stuff like that. Okay, here we go. Perfect. I found the quote in this book. The thing is like even with me, I'm not moved by big words. I'm not moved by someone who says the photosynthesis of your mind and your body and your soul will create a higher elevation which will bring you closer to realization that you are God. I'm not moved by that shit. Like I'm not moved by that at all. Like what the hell? Is me is someone saying you are God gonna help me get some agricultural projects started back home? Is that gonna like get some food substance back home or self-sustaining things? No. So this quote is real. So, Amilcar Cabral said, always remember that people do not struggle for ideas, for things in the head of individuals. The people struggle and accept the sacrifices demanded by the struggle. But in order to gain, but in order to gain material advantage, to be able to live a better life in peace, to see their lives progress, and to ensure their children's future. National liberation, the struggle against colonialism, working for peace and progress, independence. All these are empty words without meaning for the people unless they are translated into real improvements in the standards of living. It is useless to liberate an area if the people are left without basic necessities of life. So that's why, like, I am very critical of these conscious Negroes, is because of the simple thing. It's just blind ideas. Like, for example, you have Shaka Bars, black woman is God, black woman is this, black woman is that. I eat my fruits, and you should do it too. And it's like, does this add to improvement in people's lives? Does this add to people actually learning something that's going to be a real tangible skill that's going to elevate them physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially? Does watching Polite talk about light codes and shit like that, is that going to elevate anybody? Like let's just be honest. Let's just ask ourselves that question, you know? Yeah, bro. That's all it is. It's just vocabulary that they spit. They just use these big old words, and then it's just that's it. But it doesn't really do anything. Big words don't really translate to something big happening. Let me read this quote too. I really shouldn't be reading this, man. That's the thing, man. I really shouldn't be reading this. I should be keeping these damn ideas to myself. Man, because man, people don't appreciate this shit, man. But this is shit. This is some real shit. Okay, so check this out though. Um, so and this goes hand in hand. This goes hand in hand with like just the overall, like just overall sense of being, overall like I guess you can say livelihood, health, wealth, and things like that. This goes into it. But it says the persistence of poverty creates insecurity with respect to a decent livelihood and human survival. For poverty not only reduces the ability of people to live um, productive lives, it also exacerbates identity conflicts along communal, ethnic, religious, and regional lines. And this is a universal concept because I'm going to tell you my personal experience too, like from being here and just in Africa in general. Like most of the conflicts in Africa don't necessarily have to do with like tribalism, really. It has to do with fighting for the meager resources that are available to you that maybe unfortunately have to do or on the other side with another tribe. For example, if you have a place that has diamond mining and say like let's just say my tribe, the Fulas, we're there, we're mining diamonds, but then on the other side you have another tribe that's starving, then that other tribe is going to be like, hey, wait a minute, they eating and we're not. F that, we finna to turn it up. So then you just have back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth because you you guys lack resources. You have poverty, you know, because this book also says there's growing competition over scarcity of resources with the persistence of poverty, and when you think about it, insecurity and poverty are intertwined. Um, and also poverty, for example, it creates health problems. It may lead to environmental problems because you're trying to do everything in your power to survive, and that may and in doing everything in your power to survive, you may have to like destroy the environment. um yeah, man, this is heavy. And the way it relates here in South Central Los Angeles, but I'm no longer in South Central Los Angeles. But when I first got to South Central Los Angeles, I had to adapt to the reality quickly. And because of the poverty over in South Central Los Angeles, the kind of same paradigm uh took place. You had us basically fighting for resources, really. That's what we were fighting for. But at the same time, borders were drawn and conflicts happen if a certain person from one border will cross to another border. For example, like me, I came up in the, um, I want to say Slauson Crenshaw area. If I were if I were to like go on Western and 83rd, that would be like a suicide mission for me, and I would be liable not to come home if I did something like that, just because of the seriousness of these borders that we put on each other, basically due out of survival tactics, you know, and that has a lot to do with poverty. The thing is that when you really think about it, we wouldn't have the conflicts that we have if it wasn't for poverty. I think poverty is the underlining factor that makes us go against each other when you really think about it. When you have lack of resources, all you're thinking about is, okay, how can I get up? Even if it means me like getting up on another person. And I think that's what these conscious Negroes did, really, is they took lack of resources and they just capitalized off of having maybe a gift of gab. And because they do have a gift of gab, they got up on a lot of people, and now they have resources only for themselves because that's what they were looking for, you know. That's the thing. And so yeah, man, that's how it works. That's how it works with these conscious Negroes, you know. But you coming up here, talk some boxing, you know, like I don't want to be the only one talking. I need to hear someone else talk. I need someone else to give their point of view, their opinions, their theories. So I know I put the link. I'll drop the link again. And if anybody want to come up, come up. Shoot. I don't care. Just come up. Kick the shit. Yeah, whoever in the room, come up. I'll let you up. No guest in queue, so just let me know if you're coming up or not. Yeah, that's it, bro. That's how it works. Lack of resources, bro, creates that mentality. Lack of resources. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like it's really not normal to bend over bend over backwards and be working as hard to secure those resources, you know. I have a business I run myself, but like even if it's my own business, I find myself working like maybe 60 hours a week, you know what I mean? Just getting things done because of the expenses and because of trying to add more assets. It's not normal to do these things. You know, this is not normal. It's not normal to have to do these things, but the society is so cannibalistic, it has made it normal to have to do this, you know, unfortunately. Cool. Add them to the stream. Yo, what up? What up? What up?
I'm gonna have to come back in. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? All right. Try again. Try to come up. Try to come up again. Yeah, try to come up. Let me see. Hold on, let me see something. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, hold on. Yo, what up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good. It was on my end.
Oh, okay, it was on your end. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. This boxing is crazy, man.
You was cooking, man. I didn't want to jump on and mess up your build.
Nah, man, we can talk about this boxing, man. Man, people don't even listen to what I was saying anyway, man. I'm
bro,
sure you
you was,
have even read those quotes from that book,
bro,
man.
bro, bro.
People
You was
aren't gonna even
dropping.
take people
You,
aren't gonna take what was written serious. You know what I mean? But anyhow, man, let's we can like transition back to the boxing and stuff like that because at this point it's crazy what these fighters are doing, you know.
yeah. What you want to talk? What you want to speak on?
Man, anything, man. Tell me what you want to talk about first. Like give me the something that surprised you that happened.
Um. Well, I can't say I'm really surprised, but your boy Canelo is, you went through all that trouble to cancel the fight with Caleb Plant because they weren't going to be able to meet the September, you know, Independence Day deadline, and now he's not going to fight on that date for the third consecutive year, which is, kind of crazy. Someone who keeps saying, they're taking back these dates for their people, and this is the third straight year he hasn't fought on that date. Coincidental, he's fighting again in November, allegedly. So
Well, it's crazy because I kind of saw this happening. I kind of saw this coming. Like I said he's not going to fight in September because the other fighter will probably not agree to take the fight so soon. But that's what Canelo wanted the other fighter to do, though. He wanted the other fighter not to have the like a full training camp, and have the full advantages, and just be ready to be the best on that date. You know what I mean? So I think that's what his game plan was all along. I think personally he was going to string it as long as possible, and if the opponent would still agree, it would have been an easy win. And then on top of that, he wanted a weight drain Bivol to fight. You know what I mean? For his belt too. That's the
well,
thing.
well, that's the recipe he usually uses, right? That's that Canelo seasoning that he always put down, in his negotiations. He never wants to fight anybody at their best. He always wants some kind of, advantage, in a fight. If you're really the best guy, wouldn't you want your opponent to be at their best? So there's no there's no dispute about anything in regards to your fight, but not Canelo, But to kind of put this more into perspective, it wasn't Canelo in terms of when you were saying he, he doesn't want to give the other guy more time to train. Canelo's the one who chose not to pick that September date to fight because he wants more time to train. That's the report that's out there. He wants more time to train, and
Oh, okay.
so it's like, what have you been doing, Canelo? You've been negotiating for this date, and you're telling me you wasn't ready for the fight. So that just gives me more indication that Canelo is just on some bullshit. Because how you gonna come out, a week and a half later after the plant negotiations broke down, and now you're telling the public that you need more time to train. So that means you was never really You was never really on board for this fight to happen during that date to begin with. You were just posturing. You know what I'm saying? You was just putting
Yeah,
some shit out. You was just throwing some shit out. Like
yeah,
Canelo's full of crap, man.
yeah.
And
He really is, bro. He really is. The thing is, too, is that, and I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna let you continue. But you have to remember, even when he got his first belt against Matthew Hatton, that was at a catch weight, even.
I mean, this everything this guy has gotten has been gifted to him. Like I still like to ask the question: how did Canelo even get this A side status and all this so-called power in the sport of boxing? He didn't earn it. He didn't beat the man who had it. So how did he just get this position? That's
Well,
what I want to know.
okay,
How do you get a position when you didn't earn it?
okay, well, I have part of the answer. Number one, the judges, because I don't care what nobody says. He lost against Erislandy Lara. I don't care what nobody says. That nigga lost to Erislandy Lara.
He
That
did
nigga
lose that
boxed,
fight. I didn't have
huh?
him winning that fight. I didn't have him winning that fight either. I had Laura winning that fight.
Okay, and another thing, and people are not going to agree with me, but he actually tied against Austin Trout even with the knockdown. As a matter of fact, some professionals had Austin Trout actually up in the fight before that knockdown.
The only problem
So,
with that is that Trout gave him the victory. He didn't. He didn't. He said Canelo won the fight, so I can't.
yeah,
I can't even argue Trout. But I
but
understand. I understand what you're saying in terms of Trout.
now another thing is, in the first Triple G fight, I had that fight for Triple G 7-5. Then when you look at the Cotto fight, that Cotto fight was actually, in my opinion, a draw as well. But they had Canelo winning that fight with so weird, crazy scorecards on that fight. And let's not mention Canelo came damn near hydrated like to 190 in that fight. So that's how he got A side, is because he was helped along the way from the WBC, especially, and these judges as well. You know,
What I what I mean, like when I say how did he get to A side? I'm talking about like his opportunity to really establish himself as an A side is when he fought Floyd Mayweather. That was the moment where he's supposed to be able to seize the A side by beating Floyd Mayweather and being the face of boxing. Like that was the moment for Canelo to take over the sport of boxing legitimately by beating the man who was the top guy in the sport. And he lost that fight.
yeah, he lost that fight pretty convincingly. You know, Canelo. I only had Canelo winning that fight. No, I had only him winning like 2 rounds of that fight. You know,
So for me, based upon that, how did he become the quote unquote face of boxing and you didn't beat the guy?
well, the problem is that unfortunately in this boxing world, they don't want to see another nigga come from the ashes to like take over the boxing world. And you know, they were trying to do that with certain dudes and like hype these dudes up. They try to do it with Triple G. They try to do it with Lomachenko, and it just doesn't work. You know, at the end of the day, talent is always going to beat like what these fake old network um, outlets are going to show, basically. But yeah, Mr. Oscar De La Hoya helped Canelo become the face of boxing as well. But put it this way. if Canelo would have fought against certain dudes that he was supposed to fight against, he would have been lost like maybe like three or four other times. He would have been lost. But he you know how he does. He likes to tiptoe around the real dogs, you know what I mean? And that DAZN deal didn't help when they signed him up for I think like maybe 11 fights and then he getting 300 million.
Well, check this out. That three-fight deal allegedly with PBC, he would have been guaranteed 100 million, not to mention possibly earning another 100 million off of all the sponsorship and pay-per-views that go along with that fight. So he could have walked away with out of that three-fight deal, making upwards of 200 million.
Well, we all know that what that would entail though. He would have to fight some real dogs and I don't think he wanted to go that route. And I think that's why he didn't do what he did, you know.
It sounds like too much of a legit fight, a legit fighter.
Exactly. Exactly. Because look, that's the reason why he had problem with the zone. That's the reason why Triple G's having a problem with the zone right now. It's because the zone is saying, we're losing money. You guys aren't fighting anybody. You guys are gonna have to fight someone. We can't just keep on paying you all this money and you're not fighting anybody. That's that's what happened over there.
That's his own fault. They overpaid for a lot of these fighters. That's
Yeah,
their fault. You know, no
it's
one
true.
told them to be paying Triple G 15 million to fight, Uber drivers.
It's
Triple
true.
G, Triple G's only fought one guy, and that guy he lost to, but they gave him the decision anyway. And
Yeah.
Devchenko, he didn't win that fight.
Nah,
The
he
guy's,
didn't.
the guy's ass
He-
whooped.
Yeah, he did get beat in that fight. I either had if you must give it to him technically, then you would have to have it as a draw, a majority draw, or you will have to have Derevchenko winning 7-5 in that fight, knockdown included. Knockdown included. You know.
I had the score 8-4,
Oh,
Devchenko.
you had an 8-4. Oh,
I had
okay.
an 8-4 Devchenko with the knockdown, made it 7-5, basically.
Yeah, that's why I had it. I had it at 7-5. You know, I definitely had that. I didn't have Triple G winning though. Hell no, he did not win that fight. I don't
But you
care
could,
what.
but you could tell, he was going to get the decision no matter what.
Yeah, you can kind of tell.
Devchenko's a PBC guy, and
Hmm.
they ain't gonna let him walk away with the belt, let alone pay Triple G another 15 million per fight. So they still are on the contract with Triple G. So they ain't gonna allow that to happen. Anything that was considerably deemed as close, it was gonna go to him.
Yeah, you're right. Now, do you? I mean, do you at all give Caleb? Oh, it looks like okay, moving with Canelo, moving with the Canelo situation. It looks like they're reopening and revisiting the fight for November.
Have you heard that? Because I haven't heard that.
No,
I mean,
I actually heard it. I actually heard it. I read it on. I think I read it on Boxing News 24 or something.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I read it on Boxing News 24.
Well, who's to
Now,
say? Who's to say? He may drag
no,
out.
but no. What I'm asking though, man. Let's say the fight does go on in November, right?
Mhm.
I mean, do you give Caleb Plant any chance at beating this guy though?
I do, and the reason being is that he has certain skill sets that allow him to be able to be successful. One, he uses his jab. Canelo does
Hmm.
not like guys who throw consistent jabs. Caleb Plant will double, or sometimes even triple on his jab.
Hmm.
Caleb Plant will fight in the pocket. He will throw combinations. He'll have a variety of a attack. He won't just be sticking to throwing one punch. He'll throw combinations and he'll throw his right hand left hook to the body and come back upstairs. So he'll throw shots that set up other shots either to the head or to the body.
Hmm.
And he'll get out of there with his footwork. Like he won't stand there and admire his work. He'll keep moving, he'll keep trying to, fight and use angles and give Canelo different angles. And that's what you got to do with Canelo. Canelo don't like guys who have good footwork, who can box. He's not good with guys who like to box,
Hmm.
like real boxers. Caleb Plant's a real boxer. So I give him a chance, and he's got the best feet in the division as far as I'm concerned. I like his footwork a lot, and I like his hand speed. So
Hmm.
Canelo, he can't fall in love with throwing single shots and think he's going to be able to just, you
Well,
know, get this guy up out of here.
well, that's one thing I noticed with the last fight with Billy Joe Saunders is that his fans were cheering every time like he threw a shot, even if it would like maybe land on the guard, they were cheering. And then I noticed something about that fight is that Billy Joe Saunders pretty much ran into the shot that ended the fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was very stupid. It
yeah,
was unnecessary.
and
It was unnecessary what he did.
no, but not only that, that's the only shot that Canelo was trying to
No,
land the whole night.
mm-hmm.
That he literally tried to throw that uppercut. Like I, I would have to watch the fight again, but it's like he tried to throw that same uppercut like maybe more than 7 times, trying to land it in different rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only shot he was looking for. So that shows you that okay, if you're supposed to be pound for pound the best, wouldn't you like try to look for other shots and break them down instead of just waiting for that one shot all night long? What if that one shot never came? What if he never ran into it? You know?
Well, to Canelo's credit, he realized Billy Joel is not that intelligent of a fighter, which he proved
Yeah.
not to be. I mean, for him to bend his head down like that at that
Hmm.
particular moment, it was just such an asinine thing to do.
Hmm. It was definitely. It definitely was.
And for him to quit, that was probably the most disheartening. He got hit with one punch and quit.
Yeah, that he did. I don't know how true it is. Now I hear he's in trouble in England for some crap. I don't know how true this is though. But yeah, I heard he got into some trouble in England.
It doesn't surprise me. Billy Joe is he's not what you call Upstein, a guy with high morals and ethics and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he's said and done some things in his past, and
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not condemning the guy, but I don't feel sorry for him at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you. I definitely feel you. Now we can officially add Jojo Diaz to the duck list. We can officially add Jojo Diaz to the duck list. And we can also add Roly to the duck list too. Because
Oh yeah, fill me in about Rolly.
okay, well, you know about Jojo Diaz, you know that was a duck. He as it stands right now, he's still trying to fight Ryan Garcia. And the sad thing is, as I said earlier, you're a Mando for the title shot, but you're going on fighting other dudes who aren't even Mandos. or who aren't even title holders. Can you please explain what kind of sense that makes?
Well,
That's what I'm wondering.
in his reality, they're both they both have the same promoter. And number two, he believes Ryan Garcia is the easier fight, which honestly, Ryan Garcia is the easier fight.
Well,
He's the
that
eas-
yeah, sure, that's true. But
and Ryan Garcia, he's gonna make more money fighting Ryan Garcia. So that's the third factor right there.
no,
We're
he
both
would
under
make more money.
we're both under the same promotion. We both we both uh are Latino. We both um well he Ryan Garcia is number one, he's number two. I don't know what it is in the rankings, but
Hmm.
I believe it's the easier fight
Hmm.
and I can make more money fighting them.
Hmm. Yeah, I get. I mean, but still, talking all this mess on social media, I'll f you up and stuff like that, and this, that, and the other, and it's like, okay, well, we know that's a freaking lie. We know that's cap. So with Mr. Rolando Romero, aka Rolly, we have a situation where he went crazy on Instagram talking about Devin Haney's chinny, Devin Haney is this, that, and the other, and that he'll fight Devin Haney. He's like, oh, if I'm so easy, why don't you fight me? So it turns out that Devin Haney reached out. Devin Haney's father reached out to the powers that be, and I guess one of them texted it texts Floyd Mayweather and said, "Hey, can this fight happen? Is it okay if we make this fight happen?" And then um, Floyd Floyd gave the okay to make the fight happen, and we haven't heard anything from Rolly ever since, except for I think it was on his IG live. I'm not quite sure.
Well,
He-
how
he-
what's the timeline from when they asked when Bill Haney asked the powers that be if the fight could be made? Because I know he made a call on the Boxing Voice.
yeah.
So what's the timeline from then from all
Okay.
that?
It looks like this was like recently. It looks like this was like maybe within a couple of within at least a day ago or so. And
Oh,
so
we got to give it a little bit more time.
nah, but at the same time, it was brought to my attention that Rowley said, "Oh, Devin Haney, he ain't important. We're not worried about it." So if this is the case, and if he's saying we're not worried about it, yeah, we can give it time, but it's looking like a duck. It's looking like it's going to be a duck. But we'll give it more time, though. Maybe
Yeah,
you're right.
what I'll say about Rolly,
Yeah.
he may not have skills like the kind of skills that a lot of these other guys have.
Hmm.
He he has power. He fights dirty.
Hmm.
He's entertaining. I like to hear him. He says crazy shit, and it's entertaining to me.
Yeah.
And when he gets in the ring, you know, he does all the things wrong, but he still wins.
Yeah. It's true.
So this is a perfect fight for Devin Haney. To be honest with you, I
Yeah.
mean, Rolly's the perfect villain. Rolly's the guy who he'll sell the fight for you. Devin Haney can, just play it cool and be Devin Haney. He don't have to talk too much. He don't have to rebuttal this guy too much. Rolly gonna sell the fight. Rolly gonna talk all the shit.
Yeah.
He gonna put ass in the seat. And
Yeah. That's true.
That's what Devin Haney needs right now. He needs a guy like Rolly. Because you beat
Yeah.
a guy
That's
like
true.
Rolly, you take his oath, You guys make good money from that fight, and it could propel you into, getting some other fights. And Devin Haney has to understand, like, he has to be more entertaining.
Yeah.
It's one thing for you to show everybody you have boxing skills, but at the same time, those boxing skills got to turn into entertainment. You still are there to entertain people.
Hmm.
Me as a boxing guy, I love to see those skills. I love to see defensiveness. I love to see you working your jab. I love to see the sweet science. But if you're not knocking guys out, you have to be entertaining because that's where your value is going to go up or it's going to go down. You don't want to
Hmm.
get labeled as boring in boxing.
Well, yeah, it's true. Um, that is very true. Rolly would sell the fight. Rolly would do everything in his power to knock Devin Haney off his square. Um, well, of course, I got Devin Haney watching that nigga.
Of course, Rolly's going to be a punching bag. I mean,
Yeah,
Rolly's going to make Devin look good outside the ring and inside the ring because Rolly doesn't know a punch he doesn't like to miss.
I mean, honestly, I remember watching that. I remember watching that short sparring footage, and I'm like, dang, like Devin Haney is using that nigga's head as a djembe drum. I'm like, dang, that nigga was just like, bink, bink, bink. I'm like, dang, like I was just like, yo. But I mean, and that would be a good thing for the fight too. They have a history.
Yes,
That would be another good thing for the fight as well. So I don't know why Rolly is not like going on to to like really hopping on this because not only that, it would be for a belt as well. I don't know
yes.
why he's not like really trying to like push this fight and trying to get this signed, sealed, and delivered. I don't get
And
why he's not.
he did his job. He talked his way into this fight, and now he can't walk away from it.
Yeah,
You talk yourself into this fight. You can't walk away from it.
yeah.
The one thing that Rolly has in his favor
Mm-hmm.
is that when he gets hit, it doesn't deter him. And if I'm him, I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna take some shots, but guess what? The shot that I take, I'm gonna give up a few shots in order for him and see if he can take my shot. So he's got to have that mindset, and I think he does. When he goes into most of these fights. So all it takes is
Well,
for Rolly to land that one shot, and we might be saying something different about Devin Haney.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You would think with Rolly being a Cuban that he would have the things, but he does not fight like a Cuban whatsoever. There is
No,
nothing cute. There is
no,
nothing Cuban about that dude's style whatsoever.
not
Nothing.
not not at all. If you look at like if you been watching the Olympics, if you look at a dude like Andy Cruz and compare his slickness, his boxing, his footwork, his reflexes. I mean, and he's able to entertain while he's doing all the things he's doing in the ring. You look at that guy and compare him to Rolly, and you're like, what happened? What happened? What happened with the Cuban? How come this didn't translate to this guy? You know?
Exactly.
But yeah, that's the case with Rolly, man. He's a rugged, strong kid. So far his chin has been able to hold up, but when he's taking flush shots against real punchers, that's when the real test is going to come in. We all know Devin Haney doesn't really punch. He doesn't really punch well. I'll just be honest with you. I love his jab. I love his footwork. I love you know his in and out, his boxing ability. But I think he needs to go somewhere where he can learn how to improve his punching technique. I think his punching
Well,
technique is lacking.
I think It's how he lands a punch
He
because
slaps. He slaps with his left hook. He slaps with his right hook. When he throws the right hand, it's not straight and it doesn't snap. He doesn't have a snapping, straight right hand.
it depends on the technique he uses. I think with a better technique, he will get more knockouts because he fractured a dude's face before with a
Yeah,
punch.
yeah, I know who you're talking about. But when he did that, he ended up injuring himself. That's why he had to have surgery. He didn't throw that hook correctly.
Mm, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he didn't throw that. That's why he was out. That's why he had to get
Mm,
surgery. That's why they put him at champion in recess. Is because
mm,
he did. It's because he did not throw that hook correctly. He threw that hook from like his hip, and you're not supposed to throw a hook like that.
mm. I didn't know that. Because there was one guy where he knocked out with a looping shot. He hit him with a looping shot. And then there's another guy he knocked out with a hook. So I think with the right punching technique, he'll be good.
That's
You know.
that's all. That's all he's missing.
Hmm.
But we can't keep saying, oh, when he ain't got his man strength. No, he needs to. He throws his jab correctly. I like his jab a lot, but
Hmm.
his other punches aren't as crisp as his jab.
Right. Now, how do you feel about that Shakur Stevenson Jamel Herring fight? Go ahead and give your take on that.
Jamel Herring is gonna bring the fight to him. If he doesn't, he's gonna lose. Shakur Stevenson is gonna have to let his hands go. This is one of these fights where he can't be cute, trying to be all defensive. He could be defensive, but when he's avoiding and taking away, the other fighter's best weapon, he has to make that guy pay. And so that's the other aspect that I'm looking for in Secure Stevenson. In order for me to, put that elite jacket on him, I have to see him turn his defense into offense. I have to see when he makes a guy miss, that guy has to pay for his miss. He has to force that guy to think every time he throws a shot, what's going to happen if he throws that shot. But I have Shakur Stevenson winning that fight. I think he's going to rise to the occasion, but it could be a lot closer fight than people think. And that's a fight. If Shakur don't bring his lunch bell, he could definitely lose the Herring. Hello.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Shoot. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a walk in the park for Shakur, as he says it is. He's going to have to really have every stone unturned in order to do something very special in that fight. You know. So um, I do have Shakur winning as well, but in order to please the fans, unfortunately, he's going to have to get a knockout. Unfortunately. And also in order to please, like I want to say, in order to please uh, these boxing analysts as well, he's gonna have to have a knockout. You know.
It, it just has to be. It has to be a solid performance from him. It has to be. We have to see Shakur, you know, use his abilities and actually entertain the fans at the same time. It can't be, what he did in the last fight, avoiding shots, you know, basically neutralizing the guy's power, right
Hmm.
hand, and we're not seeing no offense from him.
Hmm.
Like it can't be that.
Hmm.
So But you don't have to worry. Harry's gonna bring this fight to him. He's gonna try to force this to be a fight. And
Hmm.
Shakur is gonna have to fight him in order to win. We're gonna see what he's made of.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Now, I was looking on. Now, you know I'm big on him, but I was looking at Jerron Ennis, his timeline, you know, and he was saying we back in September. Now, who do you think he's going to be matched up against in September?
I don't know. I don't know who they're looking at. He's called out so many guys. I don't know who's on his radar for September. Um,
Well, the crazy thing is, and I'm laughing at this. They called out and they contacted Ugas and Keith Thurman, and guess what they said?
nope.
No, they'll say they'll fight him later.
Yeah. That in those terms that means never because both of
Yeah.
them are already in their early 30s. Well, with Ugas, he's older, but
Hmm.
that says to me never.
They said we'll fight him later. How sad is that?
That's the state of boxing, man.
Oh my God! When I heard that, I started. I'm like, you can't be making this stuff up. But we're not making this stuff up, man. We're not making this up. You know.
Nope.
Um, I'm trying to think of something else that's happening in the sport. Um, well, let's get back to the Shakur situation. I have a real quick question. Do you think that granted Shakur is successful, do you think Oscar Valdez is going to duck him, duck unification?
He's already ducked him. He moved up. He moved up in weight class to avoid him.
Oh yeah, he did do that. He did do that. He did do that.
Yeah, he was scheduled. Shakur was scheduled to fight him,
Hmm.
and instead of fighting Shakur, he moved up,
Hmm.
and Shakur moved up too. So is he going to keep
Yeah,
moving up to avoid him,
probably so.
or he's going to
But,
play that, line? Shakur Stevenson doesn't sell, and I don't know if he can play that line because last time I checked, this guy he ain't on no pay per views either.
um, I hate. This is the thing I hate about him. He says I don't duck nobody, but
Well, that's
yet,
a lie.
yet you did duck. It's like you're saying I don't duck nobody, but you did duck. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, where's your evidence that you didn't duck? You know?
Right.
um, I don't want to say this, but I think I have to say it. Unfortunately, I have to like maybe bring this up. But why does it seem like I understand that it's prize fighting and that if you can get an easy paycheck, you should try to get it. However, I also understand though that in order to get a bigger paycheck, you have to collect those infinity stones to get the paycheck, to get the big bucks. Because when you look at it, I'm gonna be honest. When you look at, for example, a fighter like Andrew Ruiz, when Andrew Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua the first time, it's like he found fame like in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, it
Rolls
depends on who you
Royces,
beat. It's all about the name, right?
yeah, Rolls Royces, freaking all types of stuff, like just everything. The keys, the keys open doors, basically. So why is it that it seems like these fighters are comfortable just fighting lower level opposition when like higher level opposition was out there for him? Ryan Garcia, I'm sorry to say it, I'm just gonna bring it out there. He was Devin Haney's man though. What did he do? He tries to get a fight with Javier Fortuna instead. Why not fight for the belt when the belt is right in front of you? And with the belt, you're going to make more money, of course. So why not do that?
Well, it depends on who's the belt holder, right? The belt
Yep.
holders, if the belt holder's a draw, then you'll sacrifice your own. Or if you truly think you can beat a guy, you'll get in the ring and fight him, right? Well,
Yep.
all these guys have fought in the amateurs, man. He remembers when Devin Haney whooped them in the amateurs, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
it's not
And
it's
it's
not
only gotten better as a pro. He's
it's
only
not
gotten better. He's
it's not
only
like
gotten better as a pro.
it's not like to say this. We're talking, you know, a decade ago when they fought in the amateurs. This stuff was recently.
True.
We're just talking a couple of years ago. These guys were in the amateurs. So
Yeah.
and
And he's
and to
only
be
gotten better as a pro. That's the
and to
thing.
and my thing is that if you're gonna lose, Devin Haney's the least likely guy to knock you out
Yeah.
at this stage of his career. So
Yeah.
he has to constantly worry about your power compared to you worrying about his.
That's
So
true. That's true.
why not take that chance and get in the ring with him? Because we've seen that when he did finally get hit, he didn't respond very well, in my opinion, when he got hit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he looked like somebody who hasn't been in that position before.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell that that's new ground for him. To his
Yeah.
credit, he survived, but he didn't respond like you want to see a guy respond when he get hurt. He didn't
That's
have
true.
he didn't have that dragon in him
Mm-hmm.
that we've seen from other fighters when they get hurt.
Mm-hmm. No,
And
you got a point.
his so-called idol, Floyd Mayweather, when Mosley hurt him, Floyd Mayweather was coming at Mosley the next round. I mean, and round after round after that, he was coming directly at Mosley.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So those are the type of things that when you're a boxing fan and you're watching these young guys, you
Mm-hmm.
want to see them in those adverse situations, how they respond.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got some question marks. I'm questioning, whether or not he's going to respond the way he needs to when he gets hurt going forward because I didn't like what I saw.
Yeah. I will say this. It was the first time I've seen him in like get buzz. That was the first time I've seen him in that situation. Um, however, I mean, I still like him. Don't get it twisted. I still think he's the best 135 pounder. Like in my opinion, if we were to take skill for skills and stuff like that, I still think he's the best guy. However, you do bring on a point that like I can't take it away from him. Ryan Garcia does have some power. Um, and I guess you can say that when he uses his right, when he uses it right, he does have speed as well.
Yes, he has hand speed.
Yeah, when he uses it right. So the thing is that he has a couple of tools that may present problems, but I don't know if he believes in those tools. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
Because
mentally, he don't. You're right. Mentally, that's the problem.
if you did believe in those tools, you would have taken the fight by now, and you would. And the thing is if you took the fight, that would raise your notoriety even more, and would raise your social media presence even more if you were to be successful and win the fight. You know, that's the whole thing. But I don't know if he has interest in doing that. That's the whole thing too. I don't really
Man,
know if he has an interest in winning the fight or daring to be great. You know,
he got some bad role models, Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo. They're not doing him no favors, and
and
especially
also,
not especially Canelo. He ain't doing this guy no favors. They're showing him the wrong way
well, not
just
only
by
that,
just by in
not
their actions and what what Canelo's doing in his career, how he's moving like a
yeah,
diva.
yeah. Well, not
This is
only
how.
that,
Yeah,
they not to cut you off, but not only that, but also the fact that he's from the school of Eddie Reynoso, which means that footwork doesn't mean anything, and that you can like block shots with your head. You know that's the problem. Like, because even when you look at, for example, um, Eddie Reynoso, he has that Cuban heavyweight, I guess Frank Sanchez, and he's a
I
Cuban heavy.
I like
He
Frank Sanchez. Frank Sanchez.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't fight like a Cuban because, again, in that Eddie Reynoso school, footwork doesn't mean crap.
Hmm.
That's the thing. So that's another factor why Ryan Garcia is the way he is. Is because, like, I'm sorry, but Eddie Reynoso is one of the most overrated trainers in boxing today. That's just my opinion, though. You know, Eddie Reynoso is hella overrated. I mean,
He makes Ryan look good in them pads, man. That pad work is second to none, man.
does make him look good in the pads, but I mean, this boxing is it's gonna happen. Like, I understand it's gonna happen in boxing, but the, how it happened is kind of like what trips me out. But you get dropped by slow Luke Campbell, you get dropped by a slow dude. Like, that just tells me something about, like, okay, well, what part of like reflexes didn't you understand? You know?
Hey, I I I admit that shouldn't have happened, but
Yeah,
I like how he responded
yeah,
in
that's what I'm
his
saying.
because adversity. He had adversity and he responded like a fighter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because at the same time, but this is I only say this because I'm using the decaf's logic of fighters. You know what I mean? Because, for example, they'll say, well, such and such doesn't deserve a fight because he got dropped by such and such.
Oh man,
But at the same time, it's like you realize, okay, well, that's a part of boxing. Andre Ward got dropped, and he's arguably like the most talented fighter of this generation besides Floyd Mayweather. Um, he got dropped, but what did he do? How did he finish the fight?
he neutralized the right hand of Kovalev, took away his jab, and he was able to avoid shots on the inside and mount his own offense.
And
So,
so he won the fight at
yep.
the end of the day. So this is what these fans, and it's unfortunate that these fans, that's their talking point in order for these fights not to happen. Is that such and such got dropped, such and such got buzzed, such and such got hurt versus such and such.
That
It's
try
as if,
the triangle theory bullshit.
yeah, it's as if like um it's as if that because you do get rocked or you get buzzed that you they assume that you're not going to fight different the next time around, that maybe you'll have a completely different style as you're fighting this guy as opposed to the way you fought the other guy,
Hmm.
and they just like disregard this, so it's just like it makes no sense to me.
Most of those people, I don't even pay attention to them. A lot of them aren't real. They're not real boxing fans. They're fans of fighters.
Well, I hate to say this, and I don't want to say any names, but I am going to say some names. But the one who is a fan of a fighter and not really a boxing fan is IPFB. That dude, IPFB. Um, yeah, I think that's his name. Either IBFB or IPFB, one or the other. But that dude is such a fan of Canelo that it's hard to take anything serious he says about boxing, because he it's like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I don't think he's gonna hear this. I don't think he's gonna hear this anyway. But it's like, I think this guy. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I think this guy sleeps with his ass in the air in hopes that Canelo comes into the room. Like, that's how much like this dude is like a Canelo man fan.
Oh
Like,
man,
I'm like, oh my god, like it's like sad, you know? It's freaking pathetic. I'm like, God, Lee, this is sad.
yeah. All these man crushes that people have over certain fighters is what's not getting fights made.
It really is, and it's sad. It's really sad that this is what's keeping the fights from happening. Is like, for example, me and Demetrius Andre, we share a similar background. We have a common background. I have family in Senegal. I have family in Guinea-Bissau, and I have family in Cape Verde too. And he's Cape Verdean. However, I want to see him fight the best opposition out there, because at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, well, there's a good chance he can win, and there's also a possibility he can lose too. But I just want to see it though. I just want
Hmm.
to see it for myself to see who's the best. And I'm not gonna say, oh, he doesn't need to fight this guy, or oh, he doesn't need to, or or this other guy got rocked, so why is he gonna fight him and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say that, you know. I'm
I'm
not
going.
those words,
I'm
huh?
gonna. I'm gonna say he doesn't need to fight. Need to fight a certain guy if that guy is not up to the world class level.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
that's the
definitely
only
yeah.
time. That's the only time. Exactly. When like, for example, like this is a perfect example with the Liam Williams fight. I'm like, okay, well, I get it. He's a mandatory, but why can't he unify with like Charlo, or why can't he unify with Triple G? That would be the more appealing fight, and that would be the fight that fills butts and seats, not fighting a guy who looks like a freaking Keebler elf. You know, that's not going to fill butts and seats. That's not going to raise excitement. You know, but that's the sad thing about these man fans. This is the sad thing about the man fans that I'm going to tell you right now. The man fans are actually content when they see their fighters fight nobodies. That's
Hmm.
the thing. They're actually content at that.
That
So
that that lets you know all along. That's all they want is just their guy to fight. They don't care who he fights. Whether he fights the best, they're gonna call him the best. You
Yeah,
know,
they're actually happy when they just see him fight these guys that damn well they don't have no business being in the ring with them, but they're just happy that they are fighting him. That they get to see their guys fight. I hate to bring up the Canelo incident again, but when Canelo fought that Gildrum guy, the ring intro was longer than the damn fight.
hey,
Nigga had a whole concert. Nigga
it
had a
was
whole concert for his ring intro.
it was a joke because they say, oh, it was a mandatory. Okay, yeah, it was a mandatory, but why did this guy wanted to fight him 2 years ago?
Well,
Why
not
did
only that,
why did he want to fight that guy 2 years ago? And all of a sudden, magically, he's a mandatory. After he loses, he's a mandatory.
well, not only did he lose, he got knocked out.
Thank you. So, how do you justify that?
Yeah,
A guy that already got knocked out, and also a guy that Canelo talked about fighting 2 years previous.
yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to
And
be disrespectful.
nobody in the boxing stratosphere knew who the hell Yildirim was.
Nah, nobody did. Nobody did. You know. Uh, and then you have guys like he he Valdez said Miguel Burchett is a more difficult fight than Shakur Stevenson. Okay, well, if that was the case, why didn't you take the easier fight with Shakur Stevenson then?
These guys, they say things that they think that we're stupid, and we don't know what it really is at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it. They think we don't know what it is at the end of the day. That's pretty much it. Because if it was that easy, then you would have fought him instead of Cap. So yeah, and then you look at what's his name? You look at Virgil Ortiz, and he's doing the same thing too. He's doing the exact same thing. Um, the thing is that you can make these fights happen. Some fights don't need to marinate. Some fights they just need to happen right away. They can just happen. Um, and some surprisingly, and this is surprising, some media, some of the media, not all of the media, wants these fights to happen right away. Some of them want these fights to go down, right? So you have I was watching something. I was watching something that I found quite interesting. But you had like the zone analyst. Yeah, I'm surprised at this. The zone analyst that they wanted the Juron Boots in his virtual Ortiz fight. They want it right away, right? And then
Yeah,
Juron Ennis said, "Yeah, I'm one phone call away. That's we can make the fight happen." You know, but then on the other side of it, you have Virgil Ortiz saying, yeah, I don't need to fight him right now. We can let that marinate. We just got to get rid of the old guys first, and then we can fight each other. You know. So, in other words, you're ducking too, or you're prepared to duck. You're making your way to duck. Okay. Because then I'm gonna ask the next question. I'm gonna ask is okay. Well, what if Jerron Ennis gets a belt first? Are you gonna fight him for a belt or not?
well, we still gotta. He hasn't passed the test when it comes to fighting Bud because He had an opportunity to fight Bud. The WBO made way for him. They uh they demoted Sean Porter out of the number one contender spot. So he was in position to be the guy who was going to get called for mandatory, but he didn't
Hmm.
want to fight. So they put it
Okay.
back on.
See,
They put
see
it back.
again,
They put it back.
again. And I'm not trying to yell or raise my voice. Again,
They
this
put
just
it
goes.
back. They put it
This
back on Sean Porter.
no, but this it again. This just goes to show you what time. What I don't know what it is. What type of time these people are on because you're the one that's saying in the media that you're ready for Terrence Crawford, you're ready for these big fights. When the opportunity presents itself, you get cold feet.
Now he wants to fight green beans. Well, my thing is, it's fine if you tell the public, hey, I probably need another fight or two before I step up and fight Terrence Crawford. I'm
But you're
cool with
not told.
I'm cool with that if that's what you said from jump. But if you're telling me that you're ready for him and you get presented with the opportunity and then you don't take it, then you selling wolf tickets.
Exactly. Exactly. And so it doesn't matter. And that's the dumb thing too. That's the dumb thing as well. These Mexican fanboys act like it has to do. They're like, oh, you're just hating on a Mexican fighter and stuff like that. No, it is equal opportunity over there. Here, we'll take the same example with Jamal Charlo. You talk about how you're going to do this to Benavidez and I'll F Benavidez up. I've been given permission to move up to 160 so I can F up Benavidez or 168 so I can F up Benavidez. The opportunity is presented to you to do so, but what do? Oh, he needs
Oh,
a vaccine.
he gotta take
No,
COVID vaccine.
he needs a he needs a vaccine for me to fight him. Da, 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 da. I'm not gonna fight anybody under 25 and all types of BS. Sorry, bro, just shut up. If you ain't gonna fight him, then stop selling
Bro,
wolf tickles.
bro, you opened that door. Nobody was saying, hey, go fight David Benavidez. You opened
Exactly.
that
That's
door.
something you did.
You
That's
opened
something
that
you
door.
decided.
You
That's
decided
something
you you decided you wanted to clout chase that young man's name, thinking that he wasn't going to say, "Yeah, let's fight."
exactly. That's something you opened up. Now this dude is talking about I want to fight Caleb Plant, and now he's talking about Caleb Plant don't want to see me. Okay, well, I mean, maybe if you got a belt at 168, he would have some talking points. But you don't even have no talking points at this time. You don't even have a belt at 168. So why are you talking about Caleb Plant don't want smoke with me? I don't know, man, about those Charlotte sisters, bro. I really
But
don't.
well, at least the other one has fought everybody in that division and gave itself the opportunity to be undisputed. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, I respect him for that, but he still is a crazy uh guy too. He's still crazy and dumb as well.
yeah.
You know.
He said some shit outside the ring that I can't hang with.
Yeah,
But as far as what he's been able to do in the ring, bro, he's given us everything we want at 154. I'll
yeah,
be honest.
he is, but he looked like shit against Castano though.
He didn't listen to his corner. His corner was
Well,
telling him everything to do, and he was not listening.
yeah, he wasn't doing.
Eric James was giving him the perfect instructions in order for him to win that fight easy. In the center of the
Hmm.
ring, Castano had nothing for him. The
Hmm.
only time Castano had opportunities, and people were saying, "Oh, Castano was forcing Jamel Charlo into the ropes." No, he wasn't. Jamel Charlo was willingly putting his back against the ropes.
Hmm.
It's not like Castano was mounting this unsurmountable, attack, forcing him into the ropes. No, Jamel Charlo fell in love with with hitting him with a counter left hook in the exchange when his back was against the ropes and he thought he can constantly, catch him on the ropes. And
Yeah.
he didn't realize Castano had made that adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nah.
he made that adjustment and Charlo, which showed me his ring IQ is not that good.
Nah. To be honest, bro, the Charlos are quite basic. You know, the Charlos are pretty basic fighters. They're not what everybody makes them out to be. They're basic. You know. As a matter of fact, I know this sounds far fetched. This sounds very far fetched, and many people aren't going to believe me. But Joran Boots Ennis can move up to 154, and he would blow Charlo out the water.
Um, I wouldn't doubt that. I'm high on Boo Tennis myself. I'm very high on him. He's a natural. I like the way he breaks down guys. He's a smart fighter too. People
Yeah,
don't
that's the thing. Like
people
that.
don't
That's
people
what
don't
people don't
understand.
realize. That.
People don't understand what he's doing in the ring, and I've seen him do it to veteran fighters. He sets you
Well,
up for what he's gonna hit you with later on. So basically,
well, here's the thing.
he'll force you to throw a punch like three punches down the line. He's
Hmm.
gonna hit you with something because he forced you to throw a punch that he wanted to catch you with three punches down the line with his offense. So
Well, here's the thing.
he's setting you up. He's playing chess in there. People don't understand. Like it's not just he's in there, he's boxing, he's moving, he's throwing shots, he's using his no. This guy is he's playing chess in there. I love
Well,
Boo Tennis.
here's the thing about him that people need to understand. These old school trainers are extremely underrated, but they know boxing the best.
Mm-hmm.
His trainer, his dad, is probably one of the best trainers in boxing today. Many people wouldn't know that though, because his dad is not like in the commercial, in the limelight, and stuff like that. Like a crappy Eddie Reynoso and things like that. You know, his dad is not trying to be trainer of the year or something like that. His dad is just playing his position and doing a damn good job playing his position, man.
And he looks comfortable in there. Boo
Yeah,
Tennis is he's very comfortable. Nothing rattles him, nothing bothers him. He'll be in a line of fire and it's like another day to him. Like it's just so natural. And you can see it. Like it doesn't matter what the situation is. He knows exactly what to do and how to respond in those situations. It's just certain guys that when you watch boxing, you can
yeah,
see if you have a keen eye, you can tell how they're setting up the other fighter.
yeah,
Boots knows how to break down the guy that he's fighting. He sees a direct area of attack, and he continues to make that guy pay for that weakness that he exploits. And that's to me that's the mark of an elite fighter. It's not about the knockouts. It's about recognizing, making the adjustments, and seeing what your opponent brings and exploiting that weakness over and
yeah.
over again.
Well, not only that, one of his previous opponents, and in this argument, and that's another thing. Wow, I was like, yo, these people are really crazy. So I was like, yeah, I said, man, Jerome Businis will watch Virgil Ortiz. Like he will watch that dude. Flat footed, block shots with his head. I'm like, yeah, Jerron Ennis will watch him. I said, I honestly said, I said to myself, even, I said it out, I said in the comment, I said, that's easy work for him. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like, especially how flat footed he is in blocking shots with his head, as I said, I'm like, yeah, that's easy works for Boots. Plus, he's longer and faster and bigger than him. So someone's gonna say that, oh, Virgil Ortiz broke Maurice Hooker's arm or something like that. He has more power with him. And I said, okay, well, what are you saying? Jerron Bucenis broke Sergey Lipinets' orbital bone. What are you saying? Like, what is your talking point? And then on top of that, Chris Van Heerden even said that Jerron Bucenis hits harder than Earl Spence.
Yeah, he's a natural. I mean, he's been boxing since he was 2 years old. He eats, sleep boxing. That's all he does. He don't live. He's not into being flamboyant and all that stuff. The guy gets in there, he performs. I like him. He's one of my top prospects, man. To be honest,
To be honest, man, he's one of my top guys right now. This is one of the guys I always like to watch.
I do
I
too.
was I was very disappointed that the headbutt ended the Chris Van Heerden fight because he came out aggressive. That dude came out with he wanted to send a statement, really, in that fight. You can tell. And I'm sorry to say it, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I know you get hit in boxing. I know you're gonna take your L's and take your lumps. But if you can like minimize the lumps you take, then that's a sign of you being better. That's
Hmm.
a sign of you being skillful and stuff like that. I'm sorry to say it, but when you look at Virgil Ortiz's face after the Maurice Hooker fight, it looked like he got in a car accident.
Bro, he was under a lot of distress.
Yeah.
Booker
So that's
was
what I'm saying.
Booker was putting some stuff on him.
I mean, I'm not saying and I'm not saying he would have won, but really all Hooker had to do was just really stay on the outside and just
Yep.
like tee off on the outside, but he played into Virgil Ortiz's hands um and started which one call it started to brawl, and that was a big mistake.
But isn't that the same thing that got him knocked out by Ramirez?
Yep.
He abandoned his jab and what he was doing on the outside, and he decided to play Ramirez's game, and he got knocked the hell out.
And that's exactly what Josh Taylor didn't do, and that's how he won the fight. Josh Taylor, he was look what Josh Taylor was looking for was counters and stuff like that, and he found two counters
Beautiful counters.
in which dropped Ramirez. And that's the thing. This is the thing. I don't know if it's the school of boxing that they do, but I'm sorry, but if you're not a Cuban, okay, and to a lesser extent a Puerto Rican, then the Latin school of boxing is pretty much coming forward, and that's it, really, because Ramirez is is the same type of fighter who does that. I mean, let's be honest. All Ramirez really did was come forward.
Yep. Pressure fighter, come forward, make it ugly, work to the
Yeah,
body, try to throw a lot of hooks, a lot of power shots.
yeah.
And he ran into that left, and and that uppercut off the break was just beautiful. That was
Mm-hmm.
just that was beautiful.
And yeah, that does put butts in seats, and that does make fans happy. But as for me, if you're able to do what Joran Ennis does, then I'm more into you based off of that.
Yep.
If you're able to do like what Devin Haney does, I'm into you based off of that. If you're able to do what David Morrell does, who I think, and many people don't believe me when I say this, but give him like 3 fights or even give him 2 fights, and I got him beating Caleb Plant, you know, because here's the thing. He's a Cuban boxer, but he still has an aggressive style, but he's
He
still
has aggressive
defensively
style,
responsible.
and
But he
He's got power.
but he's defensively still responsible. That's
Hmm.
the thing. So this is why I say, okay, yeah, just give this nigga a little bit of time and he's gonna be ready to go. I just said as a matter of fact, I said sooner than later he's going to be ready to go. You know, for sure.
Yeah, he's
So
dangerous. He's got real power.
yep. I mean, his last opponent. I mean, I hope he's better now, but his last opponent was wearing a neck brace in the hospital from his power. You know.
Yeah, there's some fighters that's coming. I just
Yeah.
hope I just hope they don't turn boxing into more of a circus like the rest of these guys are currently doing.
Yeah, like Jake Paul, like that's the reason why we're getting those fights. That's the reason why we're getting social media influencers fighting, is because they are turning it into a circus. You know, that's the whole thing. That's why we're getting YouTubers fighting. You know, that's why we're getting Jake Paul, Logan Paul fights. Because these fighters don't don't want to like fight.
Yeah, I mean from the standpoint with all this diva mentality, like I fight one guy and now all of a sudden, I'm the top of the world. I don't got no more work to do. That's what
Yeah,
these
yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah.
That's what these guys do. They fight one guy, and then all of a sudden now, they don't have nothing else to prove.
Yeah, you're right. It gets to be like that, unfortunately, with these guys. You know, it's sad too, man. It's real sad. It's real sad. Who do you got? Because they're fighting in October. Who do you got versus Frank Sanchez and Fa Jogba? Who do you got in that fight?
I got Frank Sanchez.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I think FA is too slow.
Mm-hmm.
I like Sanchez's. I think Sanchez is just going to be too much for him. Now the problem is if FA lands,
It's a wrap.
Sanchez
It's a
Sanchez
wrap.
has Sanchez has a
It's a
real
wrap.
problem.
That
But
he's going
I
to
can
sleep.
see, I
He's
can
going to
see,
sleep.
yeah, I can see Sanchez winning this fight from just being a better overall fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him even winning most of these rounds and then getting hit with something and he's out. Like I can see the fight going just like that. But
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you. I, I,
but
I
my mind is telling me Sanchez.
okay. Well, I will say that maybe Sanchez has better arsenal and better artillery and whatnot. But I think I know it sounds crazy, but I think and I know this may and I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but I don't really think Eddie Reynoso really cares about Frank Sanchez. I don't really think he cares to train that guy. Um, as crazy as it sounds, I got FA sleeping that fool.
Oh,
I think
okay.
yeah, I think he's gonna knock that nigga's block off.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
really do.
I
I could be
mean
wrong
that's
though.
that's
I
not
could be
that's
wrong.
that's that's not far fetched, you
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong because what I think's gonna happen is that what I really think's gonna happen is like Frank Sanchez, he's gonna be like letting off and stuff like that, and FA Jogba's just gonna catch him while he's letting off. I mean, that's what I feel is gonna happen. I could be wrong though. We don't know.
We're gonna
You know?
see this. That's a fight I want to see. Actually, I
Yeah.
think it's a really good heavyweight card. To be honest with you, I think
Yeah.
it's one of the better heavyweight cards I've seen in
Mm-hmm.
in quite some time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Especially with the Hellenius. Um, what's the name of the dude from Poland? He knocked out.
Uh
They're Kalnaki. Hellenius Kalnaki too.
Yeah,
That's another one I want to see.
yeah,
And
that's a good fight.
then Big Baby, I like Big Baby.
Yeah, if that nigga could lay off the peds.
Not that Big Baby. I'm talking about the young one, Jared
Oh, yeah,
Anderson.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay, I know which one you're talking about.
And see, that's the problem with that name. You know, people associate that name with PEDs. So I don't know who was the person advising him to say, yeah, that's a good name, because it ain't a good name.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot. Okay, I know which big baby you're talking about then.
Yeah, he's got good skills. I like his jab. I like he's got good footwork. I like his inside game. He can box on the outside. He's got it,
Word is on the street he was giving Tyson Fury that work in sparring.
bro. He was putting the bees on him, man.
Yeah, like that's what I heard. Like word on the street is he was giving him that work.
And he's sparring with Shakur Stevenson. You know,
Yeah.
he's the next one. He's the next one. I like where he's going, and he's young.
Mm-hmm.
He's not one of these older heavyweights coming in, you know, trying to learn the sport.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's a younger guy. He's like 21, 20 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he's gonna be around for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you had I know what you're talking about too. Cause you had niggas like Dominique Brazil. Niggas used to play football, then decided, okay, I'm gonna box. Nigga, last fight looked like crap, was getting outboxed, and Abel Sanchez being the trainer that he is, who likes to have fighters block shots with their heads as well, he ain't gonna
Hmm.
be able to help you.
No, he Dominic Brazil got knocked out. Granted, that was a beautiful, you know, jab right hand combination Wilder threw. But
Yeah.
the problem with that whole sequence is Dominic Brazil was trying to throw an uppercut from distance, like, and it was slow. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
why are
Yeah.
you why are you trying to throw an uppercut there?
Yeah.
Like it seemed like he didn't have no idea what to do against Wilder in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. He really didn't know what to do against him. You know, he
Oh,
really had no plan.
I'm gonna throw an uppercut. Oh, I changed my mind. Oh,
Yeah.
boom! I'm already out. I'm gonna throw a hook. Oh, when he got hurt he got hurt throwing trying to throw like that fake hook. Like, what are you doing? Why are you throwing? It's like he doesn't even know what kind of punch he wants to throw. Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
think I
true.
want to throw a hook. Oh, maybe I might throw an uppercut here. Oh,
Yeah, that's
fight's
true.
over. Now he's waking
That's
up.
true. Yeah, that dude, man, that dude had no kind of boxing skills whatsoever. And I'm sorry to say it, but that nigga had bigger titties than some women too.
Bruh, his whole body literally, it looked like it looked like Tremors.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, man, this nigga got bigger titties than some women. Like, what the hell?
Oh man.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you. But I mean, I guess you can say, some of the fights we'll get some decent fights. Um,
I, I actually like Rigo. Rigo's got a good fight. Matter of fact, that whole card is good. I like that fight Rigo's got
mhm.
upcoming.
No, he does have a good fight. He does. He does have a good fight. I think Rigo is like 50 years old.
Bruh, still dangerous.
Nah, he
Still,
can break your jaw.
yeah, he's still dangerous. And the thing
Nah, he
about
can
him,
break he can break orbitable bones too.
the thing about him, he had to change up his style. He can't dance around like he used to. He has to stand in front of guys now, which makes it more entertaining. Like The older he's gotten, the more entertaining he's been as a fighter.
Same with Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara has kind of did the same thing, but he still will fight you at distance, but he'll still like knock you out like he did with the other guy.
Bro, I watched it. I watched the Castano fight. Like he got a draw with Castano mainly because he didn't throw more than he was landing the left hand every time Castano was coming in.
Yeah.
He landed that left hand counter at will. But it's
Hmm.
like even in the center of the ring, he's not throwing combinations. Like he's not
Yeah,
single
yeah, yeah,
shots,
yeah,
single shots, and
yeah, yeah,
that's his problem. He throws too many single shots.
yeah. No, I feel you. No, you do got a point with that. No, he sometimes he puts the combinations together, like against Canelo's brother. He threw
Oh,
like
that
combinations.
bro,
He,
I
he,
was at that fight. That was I knew that guy was dead man walking during the weigh-ins. The weigh-ins,
yeah,
I'll tell you the story. The weigh-ins was over, right?
yeah,
Everybody weighed in.
yeah.
Canelo's brother did not make the weigh-in.
Right,
They gave him 2 hours to make the weigh-in, right?
right.
As I'm leaving, they're dragging they're dragging him in the building. This man cannot stand. He could not walk. He was weight drained. Like it was terrible, bro. It was
Oh
terrible.
wow. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, it was a wrap for him before
it
the
was a
fight even
wrap.
started.
It was over. I was like,
Yeah,
man,
before the fight even started.
I was
Before
like,
the
is
fight
this
even
guy?
started, it was a wrap.
Is this guy even gonna make it to the ring? You can't
Yeah,
even
it
fucking.
was a wrap before the fight even started.
Bro, I'm like, they need to take this guy to the hospital, bro. Like, it was
Yeah,
bad. It was bad. And so when I was at the fight, because I brought my sons,
yeah,
I was like, watch, this guy ain't gonna last 2 rounds.
yeah.
And when he knocked him out, the lady who was sitting in front of me, she just turned around and looked at me like, how did you know that? I was like, I saw the weigh-in yesterday. This guy was weight drained. He could have got hit by a pillow and he would have been knocked out.
Nah, yeah, nah. Yeah, Erislandy Lara like lit that nigga up easy. Yeah, he lit him up.
Bro, I felt bad for the guy. I'm like, damn, bro. You
And
took that.
Canelo's really just and the sad thing is Canelo didn't care though. Canelo didn't really care.
Bro, he took out his frustration on his little brother. I mean on his brother. I was like, shit.
Yeah, he did take out his frustration on him, you know, because Canelo will never fight him again.
I was like, wow.
That's the thing. Canelo would never fight Lara again, you know. And that's why I don't like they compare Canelo to Floyd because like when fights were quote unquote close with Floyd, he would rematch him. Like he did it with Maidana, he did it with Castillo. He when fights were quote unquote close,
Mm-hmm.
he, he would have a rematch with them. You know, just leave no doubt that yeah, I beat the guy the first time, I can beat him again. You know, the only reason why the Triple G fight got a rematch is because there was a tie. But I guarantee you, if Canelo won the first one, they wouldn't have had a rematch with him. They would. I'm willing to put money on it that they would not rematch.
Nah, if he would have won on the cards outright, that wouldn't have been a rematch.
Yep. Hmm?
Nah, that wouldn't have been a rematch if he had won on the cards outright. Nah, he would not have
Yeah, I know.
revisited that Triple G fight.
No, he wouldn't have. Yeah, and I'm not trying to like take jabs at him more, but it's like he said he was like boxing and moving, but he was really on his bicycle in that fight. And it's like there's a difference between like boxing and moving and just being on your bicycle, like flicking a jab out once in a while. And that just goes to show you like his footwork. I'm sorry to say it, but in the school of Eddie Reynoso, they don't teach footwork. That's just it. I mean, none of his fighters have footwork. Ryan Garcia don't got footwork. Oscar Valdez don't got footwork. Andrew Ruiz don't got footwork. None of them
and
have footwork.
and that's why all of them are afraid of boxers.
Exactly. Exactly.
They're afraid of highly skilled boxers for that reason.
Exactly. And you would think as a coach, though, he would make those adjustments and be like, man, I got to really like focus on footwork. You would think as a coach, he would make those things. He would add that to his regimen.
Or if he can't do it, bring somebody else in who can.
Yeah. That's why, and people don't believe me when I say this. They think I'm just hating, but that's why I say that, like, I don't know why you guys are like talking about this, but Andre Ward could come out of retirement and he would wash Canelo.
He beat.
I mean, I'm just being real.
He stand right in front of Canelo and neutralize everything fucking Canelo is doing.
And not only that, it's just the footwork.
That
Like
too.
he would like be a master of inches. He would master inches so well that Canelo wouldn't even be able to hit him though. And he would literally be like half an inch away from getting hit.
Bro, to me, that's the art of a great fighter. You could be right in front of him and still can't hit him.
Yeah.
Like that kid Cruz, Andy Cruz that I seen in the Olympics.
Now, did the Andy Cruz kid, did he beat Keyshawn Johnson or no?
They fought 3 times previous, and he beat him three
Now
times. He's
in this
beaten him three
next,
times. He's beaten him
are,
3 times in their
are they,
careers already.
they're gonna fight again? Did they
Yep.
already fight?
They haven't fought in the Olympics, but they fought. The last time they fought was 2019 in
Okay.
the semifinals of the IB what's the name World Championship.
Yeah.
And man, you gotta go back and watch that.
He, uh,
That guy
he
that
just absolutely embarrassed Keyshawn.
not at first. The most dominant part of the fight was the last round
Oh, okay.
For Andy Cruz. I mean, it
Okay.
was just, bro, the way he switches stances,
Yeah.
he the way he covers distance, and he's
Mm-hmm.
so fluent. His reflexes are so fast. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the way he's able to avoid shots, like he has anticipation of punches coming at him, and he's able to evade it.
Mm-hmm.
And his rhythm,
Yeah.
you can't stop his rhythm, man. I thought I was watching what's the guy who gave Floyd Mayweather trouble early in his career, man. Used to call him Emmanuel Augustus.
Yeah. Hey,
If you
people
watch
don't realize that. Hey, he,
if you watch the third round of that fight against Keyshawn and Andy Cruz, tell me if in that third round if you don't see a little drunken master in him in that
people
round.
don't. That's the thing. People don't realize that that was one of Floyd's hardest fights.
Yep.
He was giving Floyd that work. He was giving Floyd that work in that fight. That's the
Emmanuel
thing.
Augustus. I saw a little Bud Crawford yesterday when he fought the Australian guy.
Yeah.
I saw a little Bud Crawford. I saw a little Mayweather. This guy throws triple jabs. He throws right hands. He throws hooks. He's able, when you're on the inside, he's able to to throw uppercuts on the inside, devastating body shots on the inside. When he's in the inside, he's able to work angles when you guys are tied up and still land clean
So
punches.
so is that fight on YouTube? Is
Yeah,
that fight
yeah, it's
it
on
is?
YouTube. You can look it up. Yep, yep.
So
Keyshawn,
all
it's like a 15-minute fight. It goes a distance. The first round, Keyshawn was literally just landing a jab to the body. Cruz is using good footwork, getting in and out, doubling up the jab, tripling up the jab here and there. He caught Keyshawn with a nice uppercut. He hit him with a right uppercut, and then he hit him with a left hook, and he was able to get out of range with avoiding getting punched. So he won the first round. It was close. The second round, he pulled away the last part of the second round. And the third round, he just absolutely dominated. Ended up stalking him at the end of the round.
no,
And
okay. Well, can you watch the all the fights he's had in the Olympics this year? Like the
they,
one
they'll show like maybe 5-minute clips, you
oh
know,
okay, okay,
highlights.
okay.
But if you go and watch his last fight, you'll see what I'm talking about. He got a standing 8
You
count on the guy. The,
you can watch it?
yeah,
Well
right on
what
YouTube. Like 5 minutes. It's like a
should I
5 minute
just
clip of the last
okay.
fight he had, the semifinal
So
fight he had with the Australian guy.
yeah.
Australian guy was trying his best to bring in the attack to him, trying to throw power shots,
Hmm.
and he was standing right in front of the guy. The guy could not hit him. Could not hit him.
Is it called do I just need to type in Andy Cruz Gomez?
Andy Cruz versus you know, or just Andy Cruz versus, and they'll come
Oh,
up.
okay. It'll come up. Okay, cool. Cool, cool.
And he's entertaining. He's not like one of these guys who
Nah, definitely.
he's a
So let
show
me
he's a showman.
so let me guess. With that being said, I guess you see glimpses of Prince Nassim, right?
Oh no, he's got way better skills than Nassim.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Nassim, the thing is about him is that showmanship, it worked when it was against lower level opposition, but then when he met Barrera, who gave him a boxing lesson,
Bro,
you
this
know.
guy, I believe this guy right now, because he's 25 years old, and by the end of this, he should be 26. I believe he
Hopefully,
can. I believe he can beat some of these guys right now.
no, no, that's what I'm saying. I hope he comes to America. Like, and this is coming from someone who I have a sister who studies in Cuba. She's doing her medical studies, and what I will say is that the only reason boxing is not a money sport over there is because of the embargo, because they can't because if the embargo wasn't there, then they would be able to like have like boxing being a big thing because then these fighters could get endorsements, these fighters could like get more exposure. But
Right.
the problem is the embargo shuts all of that down. So what
Hmm.
I'm hoping, I hope to God that he does what David Morrell does and he comes to the US.
Bro, I like him. I think he can beat. I think he could beat the top 5 guys in the division right now. That's how
And he
good. That's how good he is.
and he plays and he's at welterweight, right?
He's at 135.
Okay, he's at oh shoot. Wow. That's unbelievable. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, you gotta see him. He has
Yeah,
everything,
definitely.
man. He's got charisma, and he's smart. He's doing all this stuff, and it's not slow motion. It's not like he's sitting there thinking. It's
Yeah,
like it's all natural. Everything's in sync. His
yeah,
thought process, what he's
yeah.
doing, how he's trying to set stuff up. Everything is in tune. So it's like when you see all the athletics gifts and the
Hmm.
mental, everything is just flowing together.
Hmm. Yeah, nah, I want to see him. I definitely want to see him because I've heard of him and I saw glimpses of him before, but now I want to just kind of see uh more closely, you know. And I said this in one of my videos, and I mean this, okay? I absolutely mean this. If there's a Mexican who can move like a Cuban, or if there's a Mexican who it has the same kind of like skill set as a Joran Ennis or as like one of these fighters, then I'm going to be one of his biggest supporters. But there hasn't been one presented to me,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like, so now what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to look into to see if there's any like fighters who don't fight straight up and down like Triple G from the Eastern Europeans. You know, I'm trying to see if there's
Well, there's
is there
U6, one of them.
yeah.
He's one of them. He's probably one of the ones right now
Hmm.
who's not up and down and who's
Who do you got in that fight actually? Anthony Joshua or Usyk? Who do you got?
Anthony Joshua is in trouble in this fight. Um, I think if Usyk fights at the same way he did against Chisora, if he doesn't try to gain weight and bulk up, because his foot speed, his angles, his boxing IQ,
Hmm.
um, Chisora was having some success early, but then Usyk was able to neutralize him, and he was landing shots that actually was hurting Chisora. Um, Anthony Joshua likes to fight in the mid range,
Hmm.
and he can't afford to be trying to chase Usyk around the ring. His gas tank is suspect. That's what a lot of people don't want to associate Anthony Joshua with. He doesn't have the greatest gas tank, so
The
he can't.
greatest stamina, huh?
Yeah, he can't be chasing Usyk around the ring. So what is encouraging that I have seen him do in training is
Yeah.
I've seen him working off the back foot.
Yeah.
I've seen him, what I'm saying, throwing the jab and trying to fight in a way that
Hmm.
Usyk's the guy who's coming to him. And I think
Oh.
that's one of his best chances to beat Usyk.
Hmm.
And when he has opportunity to have Usyk close on the ropes,
Hmm.
but the problem is Anthony Joshua doesn't throw the best straight right hand, and against a
Yeah.
southpaw, your straight right that's the punch. Now, is
Yeah.
that the punch that he's working on the most? He should be,
Yeah.
because that's the kryptonite right there.
Yeah.
Um, we're just gonna have to see. To me, it's a 50-50 fight. I'm
Yeah.
kind of favoring Usyk, but you can't tell these AJ stands anything in terms of Anthony
Oh yeah.
Joshua. All they
These
care, all
so
they care, all they care about is that the fact that he sells the most fucking tickets. Like that,
yeah.
to me, that don't win him fights. If you had, last time I checked, that don't win you fights. So
Well, the one thing
kudos,
I will
kudos
say,
to them. Kudos to them. For constantly worrying about how many tickets he sells.
well, this is what I will say, and then I'll leave it at this. The one thing I will give AJ a chance in is the hand speed. But um AJ, for me, he doesn't really like to use angles or anything like that. So that may present him with a lot of problems, you know, because the thing is with angles, and that's why I like Jerron Ennis so much, he hits you in awkward he hits you awkwardly,
Mm-hmm.
like, because he does use those angles, you know. No disrespect to Lomachenko, but he didn't have all the angles that people were telling me. thing is about Gerard Ennis is that he has angles, but he also has switching stances during the angles.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it's like you don't know what you're getting into. So that's what like separates some people from just like having lateral movement to actually having angles where they can hit you, you know. But yeah, I think Anthony Joshua will have his work cut out for him.
I don't think his fans understand how difficult of a fight this really is for him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say that he has over Usyk is just size, but but skill beats size. So that's the thing. Yeah, and yeah, you can say that Usyk is the more skillful fighter for sure. So yeah, there's a couple of other Uzbek guys that I got to look at too in terms of
Well, how,
their.
how do you see that fight? Do you see him winning?
I don't know, bro, but because I think well, granted, Povetkin, he was old as hell. What he gave Anthony Joshua fits at the beginning, but then Anthony Joshua kind of like adjusted and kind of got him. I think maybe at the beginning he'll give Anthony Joshua fits, but I think eventually what will happen is that Anthony Joshua will lay some leather on him, and that leather, will be like kind of big time leather.
But see, I don't even know. I don't even know if that happens unless he sets traps.
Hmm.
Unless he catches Usyk coming in. You
Hmm.
know, I don't know if that happens necessarily because
Yeah.
if he's chasing Usyk, he ain't never gonna find Usyk.
Hmm.
But and Usyk, I don't believe is going to be stupid enough to stand in front of him at mid range and allow. I just
Hmm.
don't see Usyk doing that.
Hmm.
You know. So, but like I said, I hope he's working on the straight right hand. I like what I saw in his training. I like him, using a lot of head movements, trying to avoid shots, and
Hmm.
fighting off the back foot, working the jab off the back foot. He's
Hmm.
doing some. He's not looking robotic like he used to. So I give
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
give him credit. I'm not the biggest fan of his, and one of the things that turned me off about him is I just don't like to see fighters quit in the ring. I don't like to
Yeah,
see it, and I felt like that's what he did against Ruiz. I don't.
yeah,
I don't know what it was. Maybe the lights are too bright for him. I don't know,
yeah,
but still, whenever I see a fighter do that, it's always in the back of my mind they're gonna do it again.
yeah. Daniel Dubois did it too. You know, I don't know, bro. It may be something about those UK guys, bro, because Daniel Dubois did it, and Billy Joe Saunders did it. Um, Also, believe it or not, the one they were hyping up so much, Josh Kelly did it. But I knew, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I knew Josh Kelly wasn't shit because the guy Chad, what's his name? Chad something? Who was it?
Chad, was it Chad Dawson?
Yeah,
I
he
don't know.
beat him. He beat him, but they had it as a tie. He whooped his ass. But they gave him a tie though. But he whooped Josh Kelly. He whooped Josh Kelly's ass.
I mean, low key, the UK don't even know who their best fighters are. I mean, a lot of these fans don't even know what guys they need to really be evaluating.
Yeah.
Um, I'll be honest with you, Joe Joyce is slow as shit, but to me,
Oh yeah.
I like Joe Joyce. I like a lot of things he does, and it's very subtle. But Joe Joyce is always in position to throw the shots that he needs to throw,
Mm-hmm.
and he might be slow, but he makes up for it with his work rate. He's busy,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
breaks guys. He breaks guys down,
yeah.
and he can take a punch, which in the heavyweight division, that's everything.
It's true. It's true.
So
It's like,
they don't even realize that he's probably the best, one of the best UK heavyweights
mm-hmm,
because he's not, the prototypical, what they're looking for.
mm-hmm.
But he's got some things that you guys need to pay attention to.
Yeah,
And I would pick him to beat Dillian White. I would pick him to beat. I would pick him to give AJ a lot of fits.
yeah. Gillian White and his birdie from Street Fighter ass. Um, that dude. I never was really high on Dillian White, to be honest. I've never
And
really been.
did you watch Joe Joyce's last fight?
I did.
Did you think the stoppage was too soon?
I mean, a lot of them UK stoppages are like that, bro. So I don't think so.
Well, let's put it up against, when Takum fought Anthony Joshua.
Um, yeah, I
If you
remember that
if
stoppage.
you compare the stoppage to that, it ain't even close. But
Nah.
it ain't even close. Anthony Joshua's stoppage was way, way worse. For
Yeah, yeah,
me,
yeah, yeah.
and for me, the stoppage was valid, and this reason why. When Joe Joyce hurt him initially in the beginning of the round with that left hook,
Mm-hmm.
buzzed him. Joe Joyce mounted at least a 30-second offense against Packham with no return fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even then, the referee didn't stop it.
Yeah,
It wasn't until Packham took that last shot and his head snapped back and he was hurt and he was going backwards, looking all shaky. That's when the referee decided to step in. I'm
yeah,
fine with
true.
that because the guy was not throwing no punches and he got hit again and it looked bad.
Yeah. Nah, nah, I agree. The Anthony Joshua stoppage was premature for sure, but this one, you better save a guy. You gotta save him, you know.
I mean, he got pissed off at the referee, but at that point, what is the referee supposed to do? Dude, you're not fighting back. You didn't land a single punch in the round.
True, true, true. Well, Tatum, he's my African brother and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be honest, and this is the thing, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck. The African style of boxing is very much the same thing as like come forward and use your strength to impose upon your opponent. I'm sorry, because the infrastructure in Africa, we don't really have the resources to teach those footwork things, to teach those like different things. That's
Right.
why that's why some African fighters do end up like in Cuba to train in boxing. Like I know a Eritrean brother, he went to Cuba to learn his boxing, and
Oh, that's
now
what's up.
niggas can't mess with him. Now that
That's
nigga boxes circles around niggas.
that's what's up.
And so that's what I'm saying. We have that same come forward style, but that's why some of us who come to America and get the right boxing training, like myself,
Hmm.
we have the other style, the
Now,
sweet science style.
now,
Because even there's a guy right now in the United States, a little kid, he's like 13 years old, and I think he's ranked number one. But he's from Ghana. Like his father is from Ghana, but he was raised under this system. So he has a style that's similar to like a Andre Ward, you know.
There's now would you say that's the problem of I don't feel like that's just a problem of African fighters. I think even in the UK, I think a lot of these guys should be trying to come over to places like Cuba or the United States to learn because when you look when you look at guys like Nigel Benn and you compare them to
Oh shit. Let
and you compare them to Chris Eubank, right?
yeah.
Chris Eubank. A lot of people don't know Chris Eubanks learned his fighting style in the U.S. in Brooklyn. His
Well, the thing
boxing,
about Chris Eubank is he ducked James Tony.
that's true. But in a sense, when I'm talking about, fighters from overseas coming to the United States, he didn't do it because, you know, he understood that's what you needed to do. That was just by luck, by, chance. His mom and him were living over there and it happened. But he recognized that later on, that's what helped him against, guys like that. Now, if he would have just came up in the traditional UK way of fighting, he's not going to beat a Nigel Benn at that particular moment. When he beat him, he wasn't going to be able to figure him out and take away Nigel Benn's best weapon and counter. Use his counter right hand to catch him and change the complexion of the fight and end up winning the fight. So
Yeah.
I say that because there's a lot of talented guys in the UK. Don't get me wrong, but they only know how to fight one way.
True.
None of them use basic boxing, which is when you're throwing your jab, move your head off the center line, or when you're trying to parry the punch, don't parry with your head. Like there's no head movement when you see these guys. So
That's why, not to cut you off, but if Conor Benn fights with any of these welterweights in the United States, that nigga's getting blasted.
that guy is food. He's a domestic level fighter. I watched him today. It was like watching a sparring match. It was so bad. I mean, the guy has nothing for as far as anybody thinking about a world or elite at this stage. I just don't see it. He's a domestic level fighter to me.
Yeah, yeah. If he fights against any elite welterweight here, he's getting blasted for sure. So I don't know why he's like calling niggas out, like because it's like, yeah, man, you may want to get some more training, you know.
Yeah, that UK that hand help that hamburger helper UK fixing that they're getting over there, it's getting to the head.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But shoot, man, anything else, man? I think I'm gonna shut it down. But I may be live tomorrow, and we can chop it up uh, if you're open at this time or around like a little bit earlier. How we started earlier, like
Hmm.
because we started real early, and so yeah, I'm thinking about doing the same thing. So yeah, and maybe we can talk about boxing, and then maybe we can move on to like some other issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. I'm open to talking about Pacquiao, Spence,
yeah, yeah,
their,
definitely. We
their
can get into
card,
that.
the undercard, and
Mhm.
some other things about boxing that's really really irritating me. These pay-per-view fights and
Yeah,
how they're not giving us much on these undercards, which
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they're not
yeah.
really boosting these prospects. The talent that's coming up. They're not
Hmm.
showcasing these guys on these pay-per-view in order for people to get to know who they are.
Hmm. No, you're right. So yeah, let's do that tomorrow. Let's definitely do that tomorrow. let's uh let's talk about that. Let's unpack that.
Yeah, sounds like a plan, man. Like always, man. Appreciate you allowing me on your platform, man, to be able to talk a little bit of boxing, man. It's good to be able to talk to someone who has knowledge and understands, you know, the skill sets of fighters and you
Yeah.
know the dimensions of the sport, man, and not listen to you know conversate with these fanboys out here, man, because you know,
Especially in this old media, especially too.
oh
This old
man,
media. Yeah, that too. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. And those in the audience, thank y'all for coming in. And those who are in the bushes, thank y'all for visiting too. And I'm gonna just like shut it down and we'll probably be back tomorrow.
all right,
But
man,
yeah,
peace.
all right, peace out, man.